All right, I figured it was about time that I chart Ethereum again. I really haven't looked at ETH in a while, and well, I really haven't missed much. I mean, we're still in the same range we were in a year ago, or about a year ago, like 10 months ago, you could say. But I really haven't been trading ETH. Haven't really been charting it, but I have been trying to chart and trade more altcoins recently, and because while I think focusing on one asset, like I've been doing with Bitcoin, really just trading one asset primarily, it has its benefits. Like you get a better understanding of that one asset you're trading. Maybe it makes your trading better overall. But I also think charting other stuff and practicing with other assets has its benefits as well, because you'll just see different things in the chart, things that you wouldn't normally see. Because while they will act similarly, Ethereum and Bitcoin will act differently when you're actually trading them, especially on the lower time frames. So I think it's good practice to try and chart and trade other things. So overall for ETH, we've just been trading inside this range. Macro market structure still hasn't changed. We are still in a downtrend with the last significant high honestly being up here. I mean, you could say that like we came down, then we came up. Maybe this was the lower high. I don't know how much I like that market structure, but the last significant high is up here, and if you go to the weekly time frame, that is definitely that is the last weekly high. You can't even see that high that we saw on the daily. So I'd say macro market structure still obviously in a downtrend and still a quite a bit of ways away from breaking it. Now that on its own, honestly makes me think that it would make sense for us to put in a lower low at some point, because this is a really high lower high. If you're looking for like a break of macro structure, like let's say hypothetically you want a macro break in structure for you to start loading up on your spot positions, I mean, you're not going to be buying Ethereum until we're less than 50% away from its all-time highs. Now, that being said, if we come down and put in a lower low at some point, the swing high that we have to break in order to reverse market structure would be right here. So, take that for what you will. Doesn't mean we have to put in a lower low. We, may not. This could be the low for the bear market, but that is just something I noticed just looking at like weekly structure here. So now I want to take a look at this range we've been trading in for like 10 months at this point, and let's mark out the key levels that I'm seeing. So firstly, I went through, marked out the untapped monthly and weekly levels that we have in this range. I didn't mark out untapped dailies because I'm really just looking for more macro levels inside this range. If we need to find more confluence in an area, we can check for untapped dailies. And let's turn on this fib right here, and let's look at some macro resistance levels first. So right now, we are on top of the point of control of this whole range, but we are potentially seeing bearish signs. Overall with the market, things are pretty uncertain at this point, so we could honestly get a move in either direction. But the fact that we are holding support on the point of control at the moment, and also we did bounce off a golden pocket right there as well. So we held this point of control, held the golden pocket, may mean that we're going to see a move higher. And if that is the case, the first level of resistance I would really be watching is right here. You can see that we have an untapped weekly, and we put in this wick right below it, which means that we have the potential, if we come back up to these highs, to get a CDW of that wick, bounce off that untapped weekly, or I should say reject, and potentially get another juicy SFP trade from the highs of this little range that we're in up here. And that really has been the pattern recently. I mean, we've gotten a few SFPs of these highs. So far we've gotten 2 of them, and 3 is a pretty good number when you're looking for like distribution or accumulation type things. So a third SFP here into this untapped weekly might be juicy. That is probably the first key resistance I'm looking for. And next, I like this 786 right here, because we have a wick pretty much right below it as well. We have the potential to SFP this wick, even though it's, probably a few percent away. Yeah, it might be a little bit too far away for my liking, but still, we could get like an SFP in a high time frame, like on the daily or something, if we get a move up there and then, quickly start coming back down. And also, right on top of that 786, we have a daily order block. You can see that one blue candle right there. I'll actually hide the box so you can see it better. We had all purple candles here. We had this one blue daily candle, and then, we dropped. And the fact that that is right on top of the 786 is looking pretty juicy to me. And, if you check, like, the 2-day, you can see we don't have an order block there. So that is the highest time frame order block that I can mark out there. So that is a very juicy level as well. I'd say even if we don't SFP this wick, if we, see a quick reaction off this box, I would probably be looking for confirmations in this area. Then you could also look at the 886 and this untapped weekly up here. We don't really have any wicks that we could take out to tap that. And in fact, we may even come up above this a little bit to take out liquidity from this wick back here. But, that is nice confluence with the 886 fib and the untapped weekly. And then a kind of obvious one, I'd also be looking for an SFP of this high into the value area high of this range. There might also be some liquidity from back here that we can grab. Maybe we peak above that value area high and take out this wick right here. But really, in terms of macro resistance inside this range, these are probably the key levels I'm watching right now. So now in terms of macro support, if we start to lose this point of control, if we start to get a move to the downside, first area I'd be watching would probably be that untapped weekly that we have right down here. That is, if I had to guess, probably also a 786, so we can pull a fib from there. And we do have a 786 right there, so that is a nice bit of confluence right around there. We still haven't tapped the 786. We hit off the golden pocket, but that could give us a decent little bounce. And what we could also do is check for some order blocks down there. Now we do have this 6-hour one potentially. Price actually did come down and tap this though afterwards, so I don't know if this is invalidated yet. This was 2 candles away. Usually when I look for order blocks, I look for something like this where only the candle next to it has tapped off of it. So this might be a 3-hour order block, because if you look to the right, we still didn't hit this level on this wick right here. So that would probably be an order block. I don't think this one down here would be, but keyword think. I don't know. I'm still trying to learn order blocks. Either way, that 786 and untapped weekly could give us a nice bounce. It's also previous resistance, you could say, at least for a few 12-hour candles here. We had resistance on this level, and it's previous support. Actually, this is a very nice support resistance level. If you just mark this out, we've found nice support on this area a few times here, even back here a little bit. So locally, that is looking like a decent level of support. And then we could look down to this wick right here for some potential liquidity. We already tapped off that 382, so I can get that out of there. And maybe we could get an SFP of this wick. If we came all the way down to that 0.5, I probably wouldn't touch it. Yeah, that's way too far down. But if we SFP this wick, that could make for a nice trade. However, I would be careful here, because if you look to the left, you can see there is a large area of inefficient price action right here that we could fill very quickly if we lose this level. And if that is the case, that would essentially bring us down to the key zone that I'm basically looking at for most crypto assets right now. It would be the golden pocket and the value area low of their range. I'm looking at the same thing for Bitcoin. I was just looking at the same thing for AVAX. Most crypto coins have this area of inefficient price action right above their golden pocket, and right around a key support resistance flip as well, an area that we held support in back here and then resistance in right here. So just like with Bitcoin and AVAX, this golden pocket and value area low is going to be probably the most key level of support I'm looking at. at least inside of this range. Now, if we lose this level, maybe we could get a bounce off this untapped monthly level where we have the 786 right above it as well. So yeah, I would be aware of this level right here, but looking at it from a liquidity perspective, right below this level, we seemingly have lots of stop losses and potential liquidity. So yeah, I probably would be careful longing here. I personally would, lock it in quickly. I would be careful with this one because there is definitely potential for us to come down and quickly take out any of these wicks, potentially all these wicks very quickly. Just come down and stop out all that liquidity. And, you could look for SFPs of any of these wicks down here. But, honestly, if we lose this golden pocket value area low, my confidence in us taking out the low and putting in a new low would probably increase. So honestly, for ETH, I'd say the levels of resistance are a bit more clear than the levels of support. But still, there are some nice levels of confluence here that could make for good trades if we see confirmations as price approaches them. And yeah, these probably would be the areas that I'm watching. All right, well, I will continue to chart Ethereum. I've been trying to keep up with my altcoin charts, so this will be one that I try to keep up with. Yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate the support, and I'll see you all in my next one.